Hi guys, Ron here and welcome to the workshop. Today I want to share my thoughts about the brand new XTR M9100 group set. But before I say anything about it, I want to point out that even though I'm sure you know I use SRAM drivetrains on all of my bikes, on my mountain bike, on my road bike, time trial bike, cross bike, everywhere I use SRAM and I'm a SRAM dealer. But I really hate the kind of people that are so focused on hating every other brand except what they use, and I definitely don't want to be one of those guys. I rate and like Shimano products. I rate Campanile products, although I've never used them. They're just not for me. But Shimano really is a good brand. I've been riding their road group sets, both rim brake and disc brake lately in Italy, and I have to say I really like them. But Shimano compared to SRAM on the mountain bike side of things, I think I can objectively say that they have been on the back foot for the last 5 years or so, and this M9100 group set should change that. But will it really? Or are they still playing catch up? Well, let's just see. So let's start from the shifter. It's a bit different from the M9000, which I have been using actually when it came out on my first proper mountain bike. The action is the same. You get the double release, which you don't get in SRAM, and it's a nice feature. And you get this big thumb shifter for the upshifts. Then you get a new, I think it's new for Shimano, this ice pack clamp or whatever they call it. So now, like SRAM, you can use one clamp for both the brake and the shifter, which is nice. The brake levers are really just beautiful finish. You have free stroke adjustment and you have reach adjustment in the lever, which is very nice. This though is not the race version of the brake. This is the trail version. As you can see, this is a full suspension e-bike with quite a lot of travel. So you get the large brake with 4 calipers, which again looks very cool. Quite a beefy unit. I think it actually isn't all that dissimilar from Saint in terms of size, and they say that the braking power isn't far off as well. I've just ridden this bike around for a quick loop in the backyard, so I can't really tell, and it's not my bike. But the modulation seems very good, and the power certainly is there just from these initial feelings. You also get a nicely redesigned rotor. I really like this about Shimano, this freezer technology. Essentially you get a thin aluminum layer sandwiched between the steel plates that the actual braking happens on, and this is set to improve cooling drastically, which I believe it does. Also you get cooling fins on the brake pads, which I don't find as useful, but still the rotor is nice. You also get the option of a drop post lever. It's not present here on this bike, but at least there's an option now. The M9100 pedals, I've used these for the cyclocross season and are pretty damn good pedals. The best from Shimano I had so far, because they use a new design, more mud clearance, better support, better engagement. Really rate them. And then for the group set itself, so you've got the Shadow rear mac with the clutch, of course, still that's you can disengage with the flick of the lever, so you get less resistance for easier wheel changes. You get a new chain for 12 speed. I think it's narrower, but from the look side of things, nothing special appears to be happening here. Although now it is specific to the mountain bikes. With the 11 speed, it's the same for XTR Endurace. Now for 12 speed XTR it's different and specific. As you can see, the cage is very long to accommodate the monstrous cassette, and the pulley wheels also are no longer 11 tooth, but I think they're more like 13 or 14, don't know exactly, but they're larger. Well, I think they copied SRAM here, to be honest. Also, for the cassette, it's no longer mounted to a traditional free hub. I think, honestly, this is the biggest drawback of the new system. And yes, I'm going to defend SRAM here. They first introduced the XD driver body, but it was because they were trying to solve a problem of fitting a smaller cog at the back. And it definitely solves that. It works very well, and they made it available to everyone. It's free to use. So instead of Shimano just sucking up being late to the party, they introduced well, their own free hub called the Microspline, which I don't know, I'm not really a fan of, because it's only available to Shimano and DT Swiss as of now. Of course, more and more brands will jump on it, but it's not a free-to-use patent like SRAM, I believe. Also, the construction of the cassettes and all the Shimano cassettes in general, I'm not really a big fan of, because you still get separate cogs at the lower end, and then some riveted together on carriers, and it's a splined free hub still, so you still get the digging in. I think it's possible with this one. So yeah, not a great fan of that. Also, it's much quicker to just put on a one-piece SRAM cassette. Of course, the upside of this is you can change theoretically individual cogs that wear out, or groups of cogs, but those aren't really available for sale, so it's kind of a moot point. The upper 3 cogs are made of aluminum, then these ones in the middle are titanium, and the bottom 4, I think, are steel for more durability, and the upper ones, of course, lighter materials for lightweight, because you get more teeth to engage with, so less wear, etc. So this is pretty much how the group set looks like. Of course, this being an e-bike, I don't really have the crank here. It has a new design, but nothing groundbreaking, in my opinion. So yeah, it still remains to be seen how does it work on the load. And just from setting this bike up, because I set up the shifting on this one, maybe it's the cable routing on this bike that's not optimal, but I don't know, the action of this shifter, and I really don't want to hate on this, but really it just feels like it would be jammed or something. Maybe it's the cable, I don't know, I have to check it again, because it was a factory assembled bike, and maybe the cable is off. But again, even the cable, Shimano still uses these stupid polymer coated cables if you get some tight bend in there, the polymer starts to fray and pack up in the housing, and it creates a mess and not smooth shifting. And all this is used instead of just super high quality polished cables like I like to use from Jaguar. They're much better. But anyway, I think here it's the shifter itself that it just doesn't have that beautiful mechanical click of XX1 and that nice feedback. It feels kind of wooden, and I don't know. Also, the shifting I can't demonstrate with one hand, but the new thing is the downshift ramps. That's certainly a nice feature. You get more security that way, but honestly I don't think it's that important. And I don't know, the whole shifting, because of it just feels a bit more sluggish to me. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's just the cable on this bike. I really don't want to hate on this thing and make some judgments early on, but yeah, that's just my initial impression. As far as the technology side of things, I still think they're on the back foot, to be honest, compared to SRAM. Yes, they now have the wide range cassette at the rear, 1051, arguably it's a copycat. But now they came up with the mechanical version of, basically SRAM had that for, 3 years now almost, or maybe, I don't know. exactly 3 years shortly. And now SRAM have the fully wireless, fully electronic, configurable, customizable version of the Axis system. Mechanically it's the same, but yeah, you get the electronic shifting, completely wireless, lots of clever tech, works with the road levers, etc. Lots of options in terms of matching and customization. With Shimano, you've got nothing like this, so really, I think for now they still need a lot of catching up to do. The brakes, I believe, will be excellent, but the SRAM brakes are excellent too, so it's just what kind of feel you prefer. Generally, I find that Shimano brakes have a bit more modulation and SRAM brakes have a bit more power, but yeah, that's just entirely personal and my subjective view. Anyway, these are my first thoughts about the Shimano XTR M9100 group set. If you want to know more about this group set or the SRAM Eagle Axis that I have on my bike and how do they perform, then stay tuned for later reviews on the channel. It's all for today, thanks for watching and see you next time.